because if you believe you can't do it, you're certainly correct. And I think the guys that are mentally strong have an inner belief that is not lessened by short-term results. They believe in themselves. So whether they shoot 78 or 68, that belief doesn't change. That self-image doesn't change, and they do everything in their power to look for ways to improve that self-image, to build themselves up. They hang around with people who only help that. If you, as Harvey Pinnick would say, go to dinner with good putters. If you go to dinner with guys that complain, which is probably the majority of guys on the mini tours, will complain and whine about how they can't do this or they're not good enough for that. You're gonna be in that world, and I think you need to rise above it, and that's why there's just not that many great players, because they've figured out a way. Yes, they're physically gifted, they make more putts, but their self-image is so high that a bad round here or there, a bad shot here and there doesn't bring them to their knees. It only empowers them even more, and they're able to rise above that and win the day. So experience can definitely help, but I think establishing that, what's your identity as a person, and establishing that self-image that's, more or less unbreakable, I think can allow you to stay in this game a long time. I get a lot of emails from kids that are too late in the process. Like for this coming fall, I'm getting emails right now, and I filled my roster, a year ago. So if they can be freshmen and sophomore and start communicating with coaches, even though the coaches cannot respond from an NCAA perspective, just getting on the radar screen of the coaches is really good. The earlier you do it, the better. Too early is never a problem. And, include some swing video, tell the coach your schedule, things like that, so we can come see you. And that's big. Too many kids wait too late to start this process, and you got to be on top of it and start early. I think sometimes Division I everybody thinks that's the ultimate, and it's really not. In these days of the transfer portal, I'm trying to fill one more spot in my team, and I'm looking at Division II and Division III players. So I think you can really make your mark in college golf on a variety of levels. And so don't get stuck on Division I, because that's pretty high level. And I think some guys are just more ready for maybe a JUCO or a D2, D3, work on their game, get some great playing opportunities. Too many kids don't get enough opportunities at the D1 level. There's some great teams out there, and they have great players, and getting in their roster, getting in that starting five on the big teams is really hard. And what does your game do when you typically don't play in tournaments? It's not going to get better. It's only going to stagnate. So I would be realistic with your own abilities. Even though you shoot 72 on your home course, that doesn't mean you're ready for a D1 program. I think you need to be able to shoot par and under par scores in tournaments against pretty good competition. That should tell you whether you're ready for D1 golf. And shooting those scores in competition on a variety of different golf courses in a variety of different locations. So if you're in Texas, go to Colorado, go to Arizona, go to Florida. If your game holds up in those conditions and you're able to shoot some good scores, then I think you're ready for Division I golf. But I think too many guys just kind of stick to what they're familiar with and what they're comfortable with both tournaments and their own game. And they never really push themselves to see how good they can be in other environments.
Do you guys offer scholarships at ACU?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we're not fully funded like maybe Texas, but we have scholarships, and we have plenty of them.
High school golfer, somebody trying to come over from D2, JUCO, D3. What are you kind of looking for if you're going to offer a scholarship to a golfer?
Well, I think all coaches' golf ability have to be there. You have to be able to post a number or show you have future ability to possibly shoot that number. The other part of it that's kind of hard is, the work ethic, because everybody says, "Oh, I work really hard." That's not always true. What their mindset is, what their goals are. There's been a lot of kids that get a scholarship to college that once they get that, they feel like they've arrived and the work stops. There's other guys that come to college and get interested in a lot of things, and some of those are not always conducive to great golf. So trying to, the golf scores are easy to find. The physical aspect of hitting a golf ball, that's the easy part. It's hard to understand what makes this person tick. And you can talk to a lot of people and they'll tell you things about this kid, and almost 100% of the time they're positive. It's like a letter of recommendation. I'd rather read a letter of non-recommendation. I want the honest truth, because I know this kid's not as perfect as everybody is making him out to be. But that's kind of the hard part to understand. Hey, what am I going to have for 4 years as part of this team? What kind of teammate is he going to be? What kind of player is he going to be? Is he coachable? Those are the questions you can ask and you get answers, but are they the real answer, or are you just getting what they think you want to hear? That's the difficult part. The golf part is easy to find out if can they hit a golf ball? What kind of speed? What kind of scores? It's the kind of what's inside of them that makes it hard to evaluate. The academic side of it, if they're a good student, makes a huge difference.
Can you walk us through a day in the life of an ACU golfer?
Well, it's pretty busy. We jam pack it Monday through Friday. We have classes in the morning. At our school, we do have a chapel service that runs about 20 minutes at 11 o'clock during the day. We usually do our strength training after that, then lunch, and then the rest of the day is practice or play, depending on what day it is. So it's a full day. You're going from morning until when we get off the golf course, and then at nighttime you probably have to study a little bit and have some time for a life and a social hour, and then we do it all up again the next day and all the way through Friday. The weekends I typically leave for the guys to do their own thing, maybe catch up on sleep or laundry or watch football, to be a normal college student. But Monday through Friday, you're a student athlete, and that's 2 jobs in one, and it's full-time deal.
What kind of facilities do the golfers on your team have access to?
Really good. We've changed a lot in the last 4 years. We've probably spent about $5 million on-campus facilities. So for a small private Christian school in West Texas, that's significant. I'm looking out my window on it. We have about a 4-acre short game area, and we're constructing a driving range on campus right now. So within an easy walk from campus, the guys can have full access to full swing short game. I'm inside of the Byron Nelson clubhouse right now, where they have hitting bays, simulator, locker room. We've got all the technology, TrackMan, Swing Cat, GC Quad, all that stuff. We can help a player develop. If somebody comes in here and wants to be good, there's no barrier to him becoming good. And then we have 3 courses in the city that we play that are within 10 or 15 minutes max. Abilene, Texas, we don't have much traffic here, which is really good. So it's nice to be in a small town. So if a guy wants to work hard and see how good he can get in the game, I think we're a pretty good location.
So as a coach, talking about player development within your program, how do you kind of approach that, and how is your practice structured and run?
It's going to be different for each guy, but I think they all come in with their own instructors, and I think you have to be on the same page with the instructor. I think sometimes there can be a disconnect between their longtime instructor and then they come to college. I think sometimes the instructor thinks the college coach is going to change them up and ruin them and stuff like that. And that's not the case at all. And sometimes the college coach thinks, well, your instructor is only interested in getting a check from you for lesson money. And that's not the case. So I think you have to have communication with how they've been brought up in the instruction world, how they've been developed, from swing coach to workout coach to mental coach, if kids have all that. And you develop a plan with all these people saying, okay, here's where we're going to be in year 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our benchmarks, obviously with the ultimate goal in mind of, hey, I want to be a PGA Tour player. I want to be the #1 amateur in the state of Texas. I want to be, I want to be on the Walker Cup, whatever your goals are. Let's formulate a year-by-year plan, maybe even month by month, and with some benchmarks along the way that we need to meet in order to make sure we're making progress. And we do that with each kid and keep a file on each guy. And I think we have meetings, feedback. Because if you don't know where you're going and you don't know what the coach expects, or you don't know, hey, my game feels good, I just don't know. I don't know if I'm any good or not. Well, we have ways of telling all of us, hey, yeah, you're good, and that could be helpful, because they feel like they go to tournaments, they don't play well, and they think, oh, my game is really garbage right now, and we're telling them, no, this testing that we do, your game is in good shape. You just believe in the process, keep at it, keep fighting hard. You're going to break through. But I think if you're just left to the wind and left to your own devices, that's why I like to coach. If you leave an 18-year-old to his own, there are some that are self-motivated to do it all, but a lot of them would just they just drift and their game stagnates. And I don't want that. I want you getting good as possible, and we're gonna be checking on you pretty often on that.